The story begins on the distant planet Samaris. Pilot Mills lives an ordinary life, but his family faces a difficult ordeal. His daughter Nevin is seriously ill. The treatment costs a vast amount of money, and to pay for it, Mills agrees to a long 2-year research expedition into deep space. He says goodbye to his family, not knowing that this might be their last meeting. During the flight, his ship enters an asteroid belt not marked on the maps. A collision is inevitable. The ship breaks apart and crashes onto an uncharted planet. Mills regains consciousness among the wreckage and realizes he is the sole survivor, or so he thinks. The planet seems wild, overgrown with dense forests and swamps. The instruments show that the atmosphere is breathable, but the motion sensors begin to go crazy. Soon, Mills makes a shocking discovery. He is not just on a foreign planet, he is on Earth 65 million years ago. This is a world ruled by giant reptiles, and a human here is the weakest link in the food chain. In despair and preparing for the worst, Mills finds one intact cryochamber among the wreckage. Inside is a young girl named Koa. She is frightened, speaks a different dialect, and does not understand what has happened. Now Mills has a reason to fight. He sees in her his daughter Nevin, whom he left at home. However, the situation is critical. The escape pod detached during the crash and landed on top of a high mountain 15 kilometers away. They have only a few days to reach it because the very same giant asteroid that is destined to destroy all life is approaching Earth. Mills takes his high-tech rifle and decoder and leads Koa through the jungle, which is swarming with predators. Every tree, every puddle here hides death. The very first night shows them that they are not alone. Eyes of creatures that know no mercy look at them from the darkness. The journey to the top of the mountain turns into an endless nightmare. Mills realizes that Koa is not just a burden, but his only chance to maintain his sanity. To keep the girl moving, he resorts to a lie. He shows her a hologram of the rescue shuttle at the summit and tells her that her parents are waiting for her there. In reality, Mills knows that all the other passengers are dead, and there is no one in orbit who could help them except for that single pod. Their path lies through a system of caves and rocky wastelands. In one scene, Koa becomes separated from Mills, fascinated by a strange insect, and falls into quicksand. Here, Mills' true character is revealed. He does not just save her, he falls into a rage from the fear of losing her just as he lost Nevin. For him, saving Koa is atonement for not being with his daughter in her final moments. The danger escalates. While they sleep in a cave, they are attacked by a small but extremely aggressive predator, resembling a giant half-formed lizard. Mills uses his high-tech scanner, which in this part of the plot should become the main element of the visuals. Red dots on the radar approaching from all sides create an atmosphere of claustrophobia. During a brief but brutal struggle, Mills is wounded. Now he limps, his supply of medicine is running out, and ahead lies the most dangerous test, the swamps. In the swamps, they encounter a huge dinosaur hunting from an underwater ambush. Mills spends the last energy cells of his rifle to fight back, but it is at this moment that Koa shows her ingenuity. She finds berries that act as an anesthetic or poison and helps Mills treat his wound. The language barrier finally disappears between them. They begin to communicate with gestures and simple words. Koa learns of Nevin's death after seeing a video recording on Mills' device. This is a moment of peak drama. Two lonely beings from the future mourn their loss against the backdrop of the wild nature of the distant past. But the sky begins to change color. Harbinger asteroids are already entering the atmosphere, causing fiery rains. Mills sees a bright spot in the sky, the very same giant asteroid that in a few hours will turn Earth into a blazing hell. Time is up. At the foot of the mountain, a final obstacle awaits them. Territory controlled by a pair of massive tyrannosaurs. Mills checks his weapon. One last powerful charge remains. He looks at Koa, realizing that if he does not get her to the summit now, they will both become part of the fossils that people of the future will find millions of years later. Mills and Koa finally reach the foot of the mountain where the escape pod is stuck on a steep slope. But nature prepares its last, most cruel surprise. The sky turns crimson, the air heats up, and the ground begins to tremble. The main asteroid is already approaching. At that moment, the masters of this territory emerge from the forest thicket, two colossal tyrannosaurs, sensing easy prey. Mills orders Koa to run to the pod while he distracts the monsters. The final battle begins. Mills has almost no ammo left, his armor is shattered, and his body is exhausted. In this scene, the visuals must emphasize the scale. A tiny human against multi-ton killing machines. Mills uses the remnants of explosives and the terrain, luring the lizards into narrow gorges, but one of the tyrannosaurs proves to be smarter. It pins Mills to the ground, and it seems this is the end. At this critical moment, Koa comes to the rescue. She did not run away. Using those same poisonous berries and sharp stakes they saw earlier, she distracts the predator. This is a moment of triumph for their bond. A little girl who at the beginning of the film could not even stand up for herself is now fighting side by side with Mills. The final fight moves to the geothermal springs on the mountainside. Mills, gathering his last strength, uses a high-tech grenade to collapse a rock onto one of the monsters and lures the second one directly into a geyser. Steam, blood, and sparks from breaking gadgets create an incredibly rich image for the finale. When the last predator is defeated, they climb into the pod. The launch system is damaged, and Mills feverishly tries to connect the wires while the sky above them literally tears apart. A massive asteroid enters the dense layers of the atmosphere, illuminating the entire planet with a blinding white light. This is a moment of absolute silence before the storm. The pod, with its engines roaring, lifts off the ground just minutes before the shockwave wipes all life from the face of the Earth. In space, looking through the porthole at the flaming sphere that was once their temporary home, Mills and Koa finally find peace. They have lost everything, their homes, their families, their era, but they found each other. The pod sets a course for the distant Samaras rescue ship. Mills closes his eyes, feeling for the first time in a long while that he has fulfilled his duty, not as a mercenary, but as a father. At first glance, the film 65 seems like a simple adventure action movie, but if you dig deeper, a powerful psychological drama about redemption and the irony of fate unfolds before us. Here is my detailed breakdown of the meanings embedded in this story. The protagonist, Mills, heads into space to save his daughter, but ironically loses her precisely because of that decision. His life turns into ruins even before his ship crashes on Earth. Meeting Koa is not just a coincidence. It is a divine intervention of the script. Koa does not understand his language, much like his dying daughter Nevin, who was distanced from him by illness and space. For Mills, this journey through the jungle is a chance to rewrite the finale of his life. If he could not save his own daughter, he is obligated to save this girl, even if he has to throttle a tyrannosaur with his bare hands. One of the most interesting aspects of the film's lore is the collision of the Samara civilization with prehistoric Earth. We see that even possessing weapons capable of splitting matter, a human remains nothing in the face of pure nature. Mills' gadgets constantly malfunction, run out of power, and break. The dinosaurs, however, are perfect machines, honed by evolution. This is an important message. We are used to relying on technology, but in a critical situation, it is not the one with the cooler gun who survives, but the one with the stronger will. Mills wins not because he is the best pilot, but because he became a hunter again, awakening his primal instincts. The film masterfully plays with scale. While Mills fights for the life of one girl, an asteroid is flying toward the planet that will destroy billions of lives. This emphasizes an existential thought. Our personal tragedies are vast to us but insignificant to the universe. The scene where they take off and witness the death of an entire world is the highest point of catharsis. They escaped death only to see the death of all living things. This makes their bond unique. They are the only witnesses to how an era was born and perished. Many criticize the film for its simplicity, but in this simplicity lies its strength. There are no extra dialogues because the characters do not understand each other. The entire plot is built on action and emotion. This is pure visual storytelling. For your channel, this is an ideal format. Minimum words, maximum tension. The bottom line of my analysis: 65 is a story about how even if you have lost your world, your family, and your time, you can still find a reason to live. It is enough to simply reach out to someone who needs it. Mills leaves Earth a different person. He is no longer seeking death. He has found a new purpose. With this, our breakdown of the film 65 has come to an end. Subscribe to Story Arc Cinema. Give us a like if this journey through time touched you, and tell us in the comments. Do you believe Mills would have survived if he had not found Koa, or was her presence the only thing that kept his heart beating? Thank you for watching. Remember, no matter how many millions of years separate us from the past, our future is defined by the decisions we make today. See you in the next video.